I want to use this video. What's going on? I want to use this video to kind of as a teaching tool. And this is no, there's no shade at the individual who, there's no shade to anybody in this video. There's been a lot of like redemption manual information, a lot of half research information that's been put out in this community. And I'm not dissing anybody. I hope people do not take this as a diss. This is a learning tool. So I'm not on either side of this. But I think it's very important for people to visit this information and to understand what you are doing when you are challenging jurisdiction. Okay, you don't go into court saying the court has two jurisdiction, admiralty and the other admiralty and the other of the common law. Do not do that. Okay, you guys have to know how to intelligently challenge jurisdiction. All right. So I'm gonna play this video, and this is one of the so-called anti-sovereigns or whatever. But he has some truth in what he's saying. So just because somebody's a so-called anti-sovereign doesn't mean, I'm not a sovereign citizen, all that other crazy stuff. I'm just a person on a quest for the truth. I just want to know the truth. So I'm gonna play this, and it's against someone, but I'm not going against the person. But that script is, you'll find out.
Your Honor, is this a civil or criminal case? This is a criminal case. Thank you, Your Honor. Let the record show that the action being brought against the defendant is a criminal action. Now, sir, I got another question for you. The Constitution for the United States of America only grants this court two criminal jurisdictions.
Okay, wrong, Yusuf. You have just flunked, you dumbass.
See, I'm not cool. I'm not cool with him trying to insult him, but they got some back and forth history. Okay, I'm not cool with that. But he is correct. He is correct. That is not correct. That the Constitution only grants the court common law and admiralty. That is not correct. The state has its own jurisdiction in regards to law. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the state has its own constitution. Okay, you will notice that the state constitution says Wisconsin State Constitution, not the state of Wisconsin Constitution. Okay, so you'll understand the state of Wisconsin is an agency.
Constitution you're talking about addresses federal courts, not state courts, and the Constitution recognizes state court jurisdiction in the 10th Amendment. You brag a lot.
Now the 10th Amendment is to make clear of Article 1. Okay, that's what the 10th Amendment does. It makes clear of Article 1, and it basically amends it, not amending it in an aspect of it's now granting the state these powers. It's just basically amending it to kind of clearly define the roles.
A lot about how intelligent you are and how you know more than attorneys, and you don't even know the basics of how this country runs. It runs on federalism, meaning there's two government sovereigns. There's the federal government, and they have their jurisdictions and courts and separation of powers. And then there's the state governments who have their judiciary and their separation of powers. And the Constitution recognizes statutory jurisdiction of the courts, state courts, in the 10th Amendment. And you're going to get schooled on this, as judges are going to school you as we go along. Oh, by the way, somebody's written a song about you. Listen.
One is under the common.
Now, he's going to do a song, and I'm going to skip over it because I'm not a fan of dissing anybody. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip over the song because it's basically calling him a dumbass. But I'm not cool with that. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over it.
You're a dumbass, and you'll be one.
Oops, or not.
Read along.
All right, there we go.
And this is what Yusuf tells them to say. He's got it on his website where you can download this script. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Yeah, I'm here by special appearance, and I will be representing myself.
Okay. I'm required by law.
So first of all, the person doesn't even understand what special appearance is. Okay. When you're saying you're there by special appearance, there's a reason why you're there. Okay. The moment you appear by special appearance, you need to either, I'm not even going to tell you what you need to do. Okay. But I'm just going to tell you from the aspect, because I'm not using this as that. I'm just using this as a teaching tool. When you appear by special appearance and you allow the court to continue, what you're basically doing is agreeing to the proceeding. You see what I'm saying? So I have a video about special appearance and I'll put it in the right hand corner. Go ahead and watch that. But yeah, since I've already done these videos, I'm just going to start referencing my videos so it makes it easier for people to follow along.
Before I accept that waiver, to do a couple things. One, advise you of the maximum penalties that you could face for the charges that you're in my court for. Resisting, obstructing conservation officers is a high court misdemeanor punishable by up to 2 years in prison and or $1,000 fine. There's a habitual offender second notice that's been filed by the prosecutor, which would make that a felony punishable by up to 3 years and or $1,000 fine. And marine safety operating while intoxicated is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days and or $100 to $500 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty for the charges against you?
Well, I don't even really understand why I'm here. I don't understand the nature and
So he's saying, I don't understand the nature of the crime. Okay. You have to know how to intelligently say that. This is the problem when you, like, even me, like when I try to teach people to go in court, it is hard if a person has no experience, no knowledge to go in court. Because when you're going in court, it's a great chance the court is going to run over you. And the reason why the court is going to run over you is because most people, they don't do their research or they don't do their own research. You have to, whenever something happens to you, you have to research, how do I fight this? How do I combat this? There's always a way to do something. Okay. If you just go into court and you say, I'm challenging the jurisdiction of the court, and then you let the court continue, you just waive jurisdiction. So you're not even supposed to be answering this line of question. If watch, well, just keep on watching.
cause of the action against me. So I can
What
say
is it that you don't understand? Do you not understand how long 3 years is, or how much the fine is that I've articulated? Can you tell me what
I
it
don't
is you don't
understand the
understand?
nature and cause of the action against me because we don't establish jurisdiction. You have to establish on the record first that you can have jurisdiction. That's been
First of all, it's not for the judge to establish the jurisdiction. It's for the prosecutor to establish the jurisdiction of the court, not the judge. The judge is not there to establish it. He is supposed to be an unbiased arbitrator. You see what I'm saying? He's supposed to be unbiased. It's not his job to set up the jurisdiction of the court. It's supposed to be. He's supposed to. He's actually supposed to go to the prosecutor, because the prosecutor is bringing the claim. Let me explain the court to you guys. Okay, the court is just a building. Okay, the agents of the court are the clerks, the police or sheriffs, meaning the bailiffs, the judge, the prosecutor, and you. So people say you're a corporate fiction and all this. I mean, get out of here with that bullshit. Okay, I'm not going into that. I'm just saying the court is just a building. It is comprised of agents. So when you're challenging jurisdiction, you have to challenge jurisdiction in regards to the elements of your case. You can't challenge jurisdiction and just say the court has no jurisdiction. I'm challenging the court's jurisdiction. So the judge is just playing with him.
a question that was questioned in preliminary hearing. It was never addressed.
I'll address that today.
Well, it has to be addressed before anything.
He said he went to a preliminary hearing. So if the court does not have jurisdiction at the preliminary hearing, why are you at this hearing? That's the problem, because now he's blaming someone else for their alleged script, but this guy doesn't understand court. So that's the problem. A script is not going to get you through court. You have to have knowledge to get you through court. So if a judge or a court enters an order, you have the ability to challenge that order. So you have to look at the state law and see the time frame you have to challenge the order. Otherwise, it becomes a valid order. It's just like everything. model a court after debt collection. Okay, the rules of civil procedure. I mean, the rules of the FDCPA are almost the rules of court. So, like after 30 days, they'll say, you have 30 days. Like if somebody sends a notice, they have 30 days to validate a debt. You see how court moves in that same fashion. Okay, he probably has nothing on the record to combat the charges. He has nothing on the record to challenge the evidence. He has nothing on the record to challenge the orders that were entered in, if there was an order entered in. He has nothing. So the judge is like, I'm just going to establish jurisdiction. That's really what he's doing. I'm going to establish jurisdiction. I'm going to say that there's some evidence in here that alludes to a case, and we're going to have jurisdiction based on the general jurisdiction rules that are in the state constitution, which this Yahoo probably never read. Sorry to call him Yahoo, but
I think move forward, honestly.
Okay, so you want me to explain to you why I have jurisdiction?
Yes.
Okay, let's do
Which
that first.
jurisdiction it's under.
Sure. Okay. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over crimes punishable by more than a year as the court of general jurisdiction under the Michigan Constitution.
see? Now, general jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction are two separate things. Lawyers always try to infuse these two. They are not the same. The judge is taking subject matter jurisdiction over the case based on the fact that there is no combating evidence to say that the court does not have subject matter jurisdiction.
1963. The people voted to ratify that constitution. That is the.
You notice the doofus isn't even listening. He's flipping through his script to find out what to say next.
Exact. What he is saying.
Of our sovereign state of Michigan.
What he is saying is 100%. Okay, 100% true. All right. This is the problem with a lot of people. When you get a court order issued against you, you don't use the order against itself. You don't read the order. You don't challenge the order. You don't challenge anything. When somebody files a case, you don't even read the case. You don't even read what is being alleged against you and challenge it. That's why you get into these situations. And this is why he's reading a script. He's not listening to what the judge is saying. So since he's not listening, the judge is still, he's basically like, this fool ain't even listening to me. I'm telling him what he needs to combat. I'm giving him the rope. I'm giving it to him. But he's not listening. You have to listen. When somebody speaks to you, you can't speak to be heard. You have to speak and listen to someone. That's the problem with a lot of people. You want to talk and talk and talk and say, I know this remedy, I know that remedy, I know this remedy, but you don't even know the crux of why you are in the situation. So until you know why you're in a situation, you won't know how to get out of it.
Okay, so is that a jurisdiction under criminal? Or is it military?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my
I have
God.
jurisdiction over that.
Okay, so the Constitution.
He's taking jurisdiction over it. Why? I tell you guys, when something is filed in the court is taking custody over it. He's acting as an agent of the court. So he's saying, I have the ability to enforce this because I don't see anything else on the record that I can't. I don't see anything combating it. That's what he's telling you. So he doesn't know how to read through what the judge is telling you. If you listen to a judge will tell you how to beat every case. He will tell you how to beat every case if you know how to listen, if you have common sense, if you understand. You will be like, okay, he should be listening what the judge says and take notes. You see what I'm saying? He should have a piece of paper by him instead of shuffling through it and looking what to say. He needs to be asking questions, because if he doesn't understand the nature of the cause against him, now the judge is telling you this is the nature and this is why this is happening. That's basically what he's telling him. So when I try to tell you guys in my video where I said you don't need case law to beat a court case, why do you not need case law to beat a court case? Because it's the evidence that's holding you down. It's the evidence, the alleged evidence that is putting you in the situation. All right. So if you have a problem, learn the rules of evidence, challenge evidence, challenge the issue in front of you. Don't sit here and try to go into court and challenge jurisdiction. You don't even know how to do it intelligently. Come on now.
Of the United States only grants you two criminal jurisdictions. One's common law, and one is military tribunal venue under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution. Which of these two criminal jurisdictions is that?
Not even the right jurisdiction. First of all, he's not even bringing up the right. He's not in the right court. He's in a state court. You see what I'm saying? He's in a state court. So he's bringing up Article 1 in a state court. And then you wonder why you lose. Oh, I know the Constitution is supreme law of the land, but you are in an evidentiary hearing most likely, or you're in a lower tier hearing. Okay. This is just really it's an evidentiary hearing, but it's a hearing based off the evidence that's comprised. So I don't need nobody to go, oh, technically an evidentiary hearing. I don't care about that. I'm just saying he's just telling you, due to the information that we have in the court, we have the ability, they're petitioning us to enforce these statutes or these against you. That's all they're doing. I hope that helps you.
Federal court is not a federal crime to been charged.
Boom. There you go. That's the bottom line.
Exactly. So when you guys are start bringing up statute, Fourth Amendment stops and all of that stuff, you have to understand how to do it and articulate it correctly. Okay. There's a way to, it's other stuff, but what he's saying is correct. So I just wanted y'all to hear some of this, so you get your legal chops a little better, because a lot of you guys listen to 50 different people, and I'm not saying because I don't have enough content to do everything. I don't do 2 hours and an hour on lives and all that stuff. I don't personally do that. I'm not saying anything's wrong. But you guys need to do your own research whenever I'm speaking or somebody else is speaking, because you just go and just do what you're told just because you think that will solve the issue, and it won't. That's why I tried to tell you about collateral attacks and all these other attacks that just because if you're railroaded, this judge actually is acting fair, but just because you're railroaded in a case doesn't mean that's the end all be all of the case.
You're not in federal court and you haven't been charged with a federal
Correct.
crime. So those
Correct.
federal things you're quoting have no bearing whatsoever on your case. Boom.
You've been charged with violating the law of the state of Michigan.
So common law.
Cloud, you're in a state court.
Yeah, you got that, Yusuf? You're in state court. God, this guy thinks he's smart.
You're charged with violating the law of the state of Michigan.
Is that a statutory jurisdiction? What is it?
Yeah, it's a statute, and
Okay, so-
and this court is duly authorized.
So he has to understand the state has the right to. They have the right, and this is where some idiots controlling me when I made the right to travel video. I am not saying that the state does not have the authority to issue statutes to say something is illegal. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the process of a traffic stop is completely different than the court process, which is common sense. So I get people in my comment section trying to tell me about the states having the ability to force people to have a driver's license. That's a red herring argument. I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm challenging the court process. You see what I'm saying? When you challenge jurisdiction, you have to know what robs the court of jurisdiction. You can't just sit here and say, I'm challenging jurisdiction based on what? He hasn't brought up a legal argument, or he hasn't brought up an argument that's sufficient enough to prove that the state court does not have jurisdiction. He's just reading off a piece of paper. That's why sometimes that can be dangerous. That's why when people ask for templates and scripts, how can I give you a template or script based on your specific situation? How can I? We can go over it through consultation and I can try to come up with the best thing. But if you don't have any knowledge, that script, that template ain't worth shit. It ain't worth shit. And I'm telling you off firsthand knowledge. Because I used to try to use other people's templates and go into court. And then the judge look at me like I'm stupid. Like, what the hell is that? And it ain't addressing my situation. Because I have to address my situation. And with that being said, I hope everybody got some learning. And I'm out.